When we talk about communication in relationships, and relationships just have so many different types of emotions and
Yeah.
situations,
Yeah.
can those emotions impact the way we communicate and in a specific point in time in the relationship?
Yeah. And and that's the tricky thing about emotions is they're often automatic and they get triggered without us deciding for them to get triggered. And that's where things can get hot and spicy when we flame into those, you don't understand me, you don't love me, you don't know me moments. And those moments are not driven by what's happening in the current time. I will assert that those moments are being triggered from the past pain that has yet to be healed. And that past pain is resurfacing with a new character, in a new play, by a new director. There's a new script, but it's the same general archetype. Yeah.
How much do you think our childhood experiences shapes the way we communicate?
Oh, I think it's everything. I think it's everything because when we're young, between the ages of 0 to 7, we're just sponging everything in that we experience in the world. We don't have the brain development to discern what's good for us, what's real for us, what's true for us, and what's not until we're about 21 years old. But so much that we observe in our world between 0 and 7 is the absolute brick and mortar foundation of then how we move through the world, how we see ourselves in the world, how we respond to the world. And then once the damage is done, once that cement is, that mortar is all hardened and solidified, then we come into our 20s and our 30s and we're starting to have these relationships and we're like, oh my gosh, like, how did I get here? How do I unpack it? How do I get rid of it? And yeah, so we have to kind of go back and do that healing.
Is that in general, is that difficult for some people to do, like work through what maybe wasn't working from for them, which ultimately they learned from their childhood?
Yeah. I think I think people think it's hard. I think people think it's hard and it doesn't have to be. There's lots of techniques that are gentle and safe and effective to basically take the pain out of the physical memory in the body and replace it with positive learnings that are helpful that they can use in the future. And that can be quick and it doesn't need to be this like 20-year long drawn out talk therapy, psychotherapy thing. Like it can actually be quite simple to do. And but I think people think it hard is hard, but I really don't think it is. Based on how I'm trained anyways as a mind body coach, there's such simple ways of doing this kind of thing.
I look at, as you mentioned, I was thinking about like my 20s, which was probably the most difficult part of my life. Like that whole decade was just chaos. And I learned so much about myself, but more importantly, I learned so many things that I didn't want to become. And
Hmm.
because I had that trial by fire or whatever it is people want to call it, I became so many things that I became the person I am today because there's so many things in my life that I didn't want to be like. So, for example, I wanted to be able to express myself, my feelings, my thoughts in a way that majority of people can understand it. If I need to tweak it, I can tweak it. And when you said that it's easier than some people think it's not as hard as some people think it is.
Yeah.
I look back at that, I was like, you know what? You're right. At least for me. I thought it was going to be difficult, but it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. And I was able to reconcile that and move forward. But I had to do a lot of work for that. Do you think that sometimes we know what needs to be changed? We know the end result, but when we look at how much work is between point A and point B, we get discouraged and maybe we don't follow through.
Yeah, I think that can be overwhelming for a lot of people. And overwhelm is discouraging because it creates a lot of distance between where we are and where we want to be. And the way out of that, the way out of overwhelm and that discouragement is to take small steps, is to chunk it down into things that you can do minute by minute, day by day, week by week. And over time, things change. And like, you don't go to the gym once and expect to get all beach bodied. Like you have to go again and again, and you can't just eat your broccoli once, right? You have to hydrate yourself every day. You have to sleep every night. You have to do these things over and over again. And over time you get closer. And that's the practice of life, I think. It's just we want to be at this destination. We want to have everything perfect and roses and rainbows, and life is messy and life hurts, and and we need each other to get through those hurts and those messes. And the needing of each other means that we have to be able to be vulnerable and feel safe to communicate our truth. So all of these things have to kind of coexist, but it's not going to happen overnight. Like it's something that every day. I had a dance teacher in university who said, never be afraid to be better than the person beside you. Okay. But the other thing that she would always say is never be afraid to be better than you were yesterday. And I love that. And in a lot of sort of habit building and personal development and growth books and circles, you hear this like 1% better every day. 1% better adds up over time. You know, if you're taking baby steps, you're still going to get across the bridge. You're still going to get there. So if we take the overwhelm out by just giving ourselves something that we can practice in a small way, like doing another rep at the gym, then that's how we start to change these things.